Still inside 100 laps here in Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. Working caution for the third time of day. Coming out on lap 81. Contact coming out of turn 4 between the 88 car and 26. And a lot of build-up there on the racetrack, guys.
Yeah, you can see already down in turns 3 and 4. And this will get worse throughout the day. But when your tires hit that, it just wants to skid across there. And I believe that may have had a little something to do. We watched Dale Jr. get into this corner. His right side tires are going to get in that just a little bit and slide up into Jamie McMurray.
You know, McMurray was having a nice run. He was being held up by Ryan Newman. He was really faster than the 12, and he'd been trying to get by. And boy, that just seems like you guys can run. Really, you can run 200 miles an hour and not touch each other. As soon as we slow down to 100, you got to run. You got to run into each other.
That's a good time to do that.
Yeah, top 22 cars stayed on the racetrack. Others decided to come on the pit road. Guys, it's shaping up to be a typical Martinsville day, Alan.
Yeah, and I was curious watching that replay as well, Doc, about how Jamie McMurray slid wide in the corner. So both he and Junior slipped up in the corner. So either hit the same thing or they both just missed the brake pedal at the same time.
Well, I tell you, it looks like they both got a little aggressive. Junior really got that baby in the corner pretty deep and got up into him. He said on his radio, he said, maybe that's some of my fault because I know Jamie's been coming across the front of me. So that could have caused it too. But already we're seeing a little bit of tempers.
You drivers are so diplomatic. It looked to me like old Junebug ran down there and just knocked him around and went around him. Maybe he did get into some of that goo down there somehow.
So a little leapfrog pit strategy going on. The only two guys of a headline note, we'll call it at this point, that pitted under this caution would be Clint Boyer and Matt Kenseth. And Doc, they're way back 34th and 35th.
Back in heavy traffic. By the way, the 9 car back on the racetrack. Casey Kane, who brought out the second caution flag when the car just shut off. He went to the garage area and sat there for 15 laps. He is now being shown in 42nd position. Kurt Busch still in the garage working on those brakes. He would be shown in 43rd.
Ready to go green.
Dale Jr. under the attack there, attacking the 12, who's given a little shove there to Eric Almirola.
You see him stack up already, beating bumpers. Jimmy Johnson's already back up to 4th with those 4 fresh tires.
He had passed 11 cars, talking about Jimmy Johnson, in 7 laps. That's hard to do here at Martinsville.
He was getting it done. That's what's so good about his car and his setup that he runs is he's able to do that. He gets such a good bite off the corner that allows him to pass.
Up in the wall, the 0-1 Regan Smith, leading Rookie of the Year contender, spins it around, has had contact.
Get her fired up, man.
Oh, a little fire. Still see a little fire in the wheel right there. The 01. That could be maybe a brake issue.
I'm sure with this, we'll see the replay. Just gets into the corner too hard. And may not have had.
I think he had a problem with his front. I think he had a problem with the front brakes, and when he got on the brakes, the rear's locked up.
00 gets the free pass, by the way, Mike Bliss, and the 01 was running in 12th position before that spin. Lots of brake fluid, lots of smoke, and a little bit of fire out of the right front of Regan Smith's Chevrolet. His car, the one that brought out the caution here.
Yeah, it looks like these guys have burned an O-ring out of the front caliper. And when he went in that corner, he pushed that brake pedal, and all the fluid just runs out on that hot rotor, and that's why you see that fire. They're going to have to go behind the wall here and change this.
That's a terrible feeling as a driver to go down in that corner and you slam on the brakes and it goes all the way to the floor. Then you're wondering how you're going to stop it before it hits the wall.
He goes to the garage area. His teammate Eric Almirola is the leader. He has led the last 29 laps, making only his 4th ever start at this historic racetrack. Ryan Newman in 2nd, Dale Earnhardt Jr. 3rd, Jimmy Johnson in 4th.
Almirola brought him down pretty slow. He got him a nice little jump there, but it kind of stacks things up when they get down into turn 1, even more so than what they normally are. Jamie?
I'll tell you, there's a lot of anticipation for this young man, Eric Almirola, coming into Martinsville. Why? Because his best finishes have been at short track races. 8th at Bristol. He has a good car. He said there's room for improvement. Right now, he's enjoying that clean air. Says the car is just a bit loose.
He's doing a nice job out front for sure.
Tight quarters back here, 20 car, Tony Stewart, 29 of Harvick. There's Kyle Busch, who had his only top 10 in the chase thus far, finishing 4th last week at Charlotte. Looking across at Kevin Harvick. Boy, that's close here in Martinsville.
Yeah, I think Harvick was letting Tony Stewart go by. He'd been on his bumper there, but I don't think he anticipated the 18 jumping up there. He's going to race him a little harder for that spot.
That's 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th there on the screen. Biffle behind them and Hamlin.
Yeah, he has no intention as the 18 pulls back in line now. He realized that too. Shannon?
Doc, for this race, Kevin Harvick and his team, they went to Sandusky Speedway in Sandusky, Ohio to test for this racetrack for Martinsville Speedway. The test was so successful that Todd Barrier, Kevin Harvick's crew chief, told me, we got to work on so many different things in practice this weekend, things that we can use for other races in this chase. He also told me we have a top 5 car here today.
Shannon, Richard Childress told me in the garage this morning he thought Kevin Harvick would be very, very good today at this racetrack. Mike?
Well, Doc, just behind Kevin Harvick, you can see the 18 car of Kyle Busch. Well, he was hung out on the outside fighting to get back down in that bottom groove. The day has not gone the way he would like. He's having a lot of problems with his brake system right now, saying he can't stop the way he wants, and because of that, he's getting beat into the corner, he's getting beat in the center of the corner and off the corner. He's very frustrated, saying he's been frustrated for about 30 laps now, guys.
Jimmy Johnson, how patient will he be up there behind the 12 car of Ryan Newman?
If Ryan's smart, he'll just let Jimmy Johnson have this spot. That's what happens here a lot of times. The guys that are a little bit slow, and you don't have to be but a 10th off and kind of be in the way. These guys will not have a lot of patience with you, and then gives them too many opportunities to get into your bumper and turn you around.
Yeah, he does what you said. Lets him get by on the inside.
Yeah, he knows how good Jimmy's been here. There's no reason to hold him up. He's got Dale Jr. there trying to go to the outside of him now and making that pass. Here comes Jeff Burton on the inside of. Greg Biffle's trying to make that outside work. We saw that here a number of years ago, but as they put down new concrete, it didn't seem to work as good. Dave?
And DJ, he's been doing that since the start of the race. Sort of been monitoring how he's been running since that 2-tire stop, and he's been losing just a couple of positions, complaining that the car is tight. But crew chief Greg Irwin told me this morning that one of his big concerns here, as you can imagine, is managing traffic. And right now, since they managed some traffic by getting the 2-tire stop and getting some positions, they're trying not to lose too many before the next stop.
Just made a pass on Michael Waltrip on the high side, so he did a nice job of maneuvering around there. So this 2-tire deal might work out for him.
That's 16th, 17th, and 18th. The 1-car Truex being shown back in 18th position. There's the battle.
Got a car around here on the front straight.
2-car of Kurt Busch that had just come back on the racetrack after being in the garage area some 24 laps. The 0-1, by the way, has now gone to the garage after having the brake issues. We'll update his progress. Regan Smith.
And we are still under green here. We said the 2 spun, but NASCAR saw that he was able to keep going and no caution flag. See Jeff Burton on the back of Carl Edwards right here trying to move forward.
These are new tires now working against these old tires. You can see Junior now, he just kind of yields to those guys. He's just going to try to maintain.
That's Gordon back in 5th position. Edwards 4th. Looking back from Carl Edwards Ford. Only the 2nd race that Eric Almirola has led in his NASCAR Sprint Cup career. He led at Talladega for 3 laps and has a very good car here in early laps here, Jamie.
And under caution, Doc, he was talking to his team, kind of giving them feedback on what he's feeling. Take a listen.
Under these cautions, the cars pull up all the rubber on the racetrack. And so when you cross over the asphalt onto the concrete, you hit fresh concrete, you know, and it grips the front tires real hard, gets me loose. Then when it gets rubbered up, I don't get near as loose in.
Great feedback from the rookie driver. Continues to lead here in the 8 car, but the 99's all over him, guys.
That is great feedback, boy. You get that kind of feedback from a driver, and it really helps you kind of assess your adjustments during the day.
Yeah, we'll get back with him after this track really gets rubbered up here in a little while. He'll see another change in this racetrack that he probably hasn't seen before, too. But he's doing a great job out front. He looks in his mirror. He's going to see our current points leader, Jimmy Johnson, closing in on him.
Jimmy Johnson just 0.8 of a second back. Working lap 111 of 500. It is a long way and a long day at Martinsville, Virginia to keep the fenders clean. Jimmy Johnson on the move trying to reel in Eric Almirola.